In the dawn of the 20th century, the world awoke to the thunder of the Great War, a conflict so vast it engulfed nations, reshaped borders, and altered the course of human history forever. Known then as the War to End All Wars, World War I was unlike anything humanity had ever witnessed. Between 1914 and 1918, over 70 million military personnel were mobilized, and more than 16 million people, soldiers and civilians alike, lost their lives. An additional 20 million were wounded, bearing the scars of battle, both visible and invisible. This was a new kind of war, one of industrial scale and technological horror. Machine guns, tanks, and chemical weapons emerged from the crucible of innovation, turning battlefields into landscapes of despair and changing warfare forever. The Great War was a complex web of alliances and rivalries, a deadly gamble of imperial ambitions and nationalist fervor. From the fields of Flanders to the shores of Gallipoli, from the deserts of the Middle East to the skies above Europe, the war raged on, leaving indelible marks on the psyche of nations. As we embark on this journey through time, we must first understand how we got to this point, one where human carnage was so mechanized and so far-reaching. We must explore not just the battles and the strategies, but the human stories, the hopes, the fears, the dreams, and the despair of those who lived through these tumultuous times. This is the story of the Great War, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable adversity. Join us as we delve into the legacy of the Great War, understanding its causes, its impact, and the lessons it imparts on the quest for peace in our time. First, we must rewind back to before the Great War. As the 20th century dawned, Europe was on the brink of a new era. The winds of change, fueled by industrialization and imperialism, were sweeping across the continent. Cities grew, economies flourished, and life was transformed in ways previously unimaginable. The Industrial Revolution had remade the European landscape, birthing a world of steel, steam, and speed. Railways connected continents, telegraphs shrunk distances, and the Suez Canal linked the seas, ushering in an age of global trade and communication. Imperialism extended Europe's reach to the farthest corners of the earth, driven by a hunger for resources and a belief in the civilizing mission. Nations competed for colonies, weaving a tapestry of power that spanned Africa, Asia, and beyond. Yet beneath this veneer of progress, tensions simmered. The race for empire and the dreadnought's roar spoke of a darker side to this golden age. Competition among nations not only spurred innovation, but also militarism, as alliances formed and armies grew, casting long shadows over the European dream. This was Europe at the turn of the century, vibrant, ambitious, yet teetering on the edge of conflict. As the wheels of industry turned and empires expanded, the stage was set for a clash that would test the very fabric of civilization. Join us as we rewind the clock to explore the forces of industrialization and imperialism, to understand how they shaped a world on the precipice of the Great War. June 28, 1914, Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary and his wife Sophie are in town. It's a day of national significance for Serbia, a time of heightened tensions. Amidst this backdrop, a young nationalist, Gavrilo Princip, steps forward. Princip, part of a group seeking Slavic liberation from Austro-Hungarian rule, sees an opportunity. His actions are driven by a fervent belief in nationalism and the desire for Serbian sovereignty. Two shots change the world. The Archduke and his wife are fatally wounded. This moment, a personal tragedy, spirals into a geopolitical cataclysm. Austria-Hungary's outrage ignites the tinderbox of alliances. Germany stands with Austria-Hungary, while Russia mobilizes in defense of Serbia. France and Britain are pulled in, as are their colonies and allies across the globe. Nations mobilized with alarming speed, drawn into conflict by a web of alliances. Germany's Schlieffen Plan sought a quick victory in the West, only to be halted at the Marne, marking the beginning of a protracted struggle. The war quickly descended into a grim war of attrition. On the Western Front, a labyrinth of trenches stretched from the North Sea to Switzerland, a stark symbol of the deadlock that defined this conflict. To the east, the vast distances and varied terrain saw movement and encirclement, yet no decisive victory for either side. In these trenches, soldiers from across the world faced unimaginable conditions. The Western Front became a deadly stalemate, where advancements were measured in yards and paid for with lives. Meanwhile, the Eastern Front saw its own horrors, with vast movements of troops struggling for control. Amidst the chaos, personal stories of courage, camaraderie, and despair emerged. These trenches were not just battle lines, but homes to millions, each with their own stories, hopes, and fears. As Europe became entrenched, the war expanded, drawing in nations from around the globe. What began as a European conflict soon became a world war, reshaping the course of history. Join us next time as we continue toward the thrilling conclusion of the First World War. As the years pass on, discover who enters the war, the revolution that is catalyzed, and the flawed peace that leads to the rise of dictators across the globe. Please, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more.